Hey guys, this is Tom Hanks. Welcome to another stream, and today we will be doing the second race in the 60s Weekend Race Car Challenge. I'm gonna fire up BeamNG in just a second here. And then we can start. How is everyone doing today? So today we will be doing Hirochi Short Race Circuit. And like last time, I will start with the disqualified cars to warm up a little bit. But I will say I have been practicing off this track off camera with a bunch of different cars of the challenge. So yeah. Hopefully I can get close to the best out of these cars today on stream. This is again the Careen 5.0 Custom Sport by Harmless, which was disqualified for being front-wheel drive. Hey Void, and hey Tez. Like on these outlaps of the disqualified cars, I'm looking at chat a little bit more. I won't be focusing so much on chat when I'm driving the actual competitors, but yeah. Let's hope for no DNFs today. But man, this thing is quick. That's a 113.2. I don't think too many cars are gonna beat that, to be honest with you. I think some are, but it's just a shame this is front-wheel drive. If this were a rear-wheel drive, well, who knows how it would perform then, because that's a pretty major change, but if it performed like this with rear-wheel drive, it would be one of the top cars, I think. Next up out of the disqualified cars is going to be the Iskra 320 Spider Race. Yep, I am familiar with how your car drives, Aaron, so don't worry. Is the stream smooth, by the way? I made a few changes since last time. It's good. Okay, awesome. Again, not paying 100% attention to the driving here, because I'm also reading chat on these outlaps with the disqualified cars. So that's a 122.6. And then the last disqualified car is going to be the WMC Cantor XR12S. For the best handling with the Spider, I would recommend shifting around 6200 RPMs. Otherwise, it can spin sometimes. Well, I haven't run into that yet. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but I feel like it doesn't quite have the power to really, you know, to really overwhelm the rear tires. And that's going to be a relatively solid time at 1:15.6. Okay, so I'm gonna use one of my own cars as well here. Again, this one, which is also what you saw in the thumbnail of the video. By the way, since last time I added some racing lights in the front, like that you can see here. Otherwise, the car is still identical to what it was before. So yeah, again, the purpose of driving this car is that this is a fairly good representation for what a lot of these cars are going to drive like, because it is also pretty powerful and also has a locking diff. 275 horsepower. Man, I washed wide there. I should have taken a slightly different line there and also hit the throttle a little bit earlier to turn the car a little bit more. That is to say, get it into a drift, and that would have allowed me to take that corner pretty damn smoothly. Like that. That's a 113.8. That's the best I've ever done with this car around here, so fingers crossed I'm gonna do well with other cars too. Alright, so now let's get into the actual competitors. First up, the 1967 WRCC 1967 by Genja FT. And once again, this has a 5-liter V6 mounted in the rear, 165 horsepower, or 165.3, and then 742.1 kilograms. Only rest to 4 grand. But tons of torque, as you can see. Like, you really gotta turn off throttle with this thing, because the moment you apply part throttle, it's gonna start understeering because it has so much traction on the rear. So when you accelerate out of a corner, it's gonna pull straight rather than you know, just changing the corner radius slightly as you go faster. When you get it in a straight line, it's pretty quick, and this is our first time of the day. It's a 1:14.553, which is a fairly solid time. And next up is the Halpin Tornado V12. And this one's sent in by Animated Gaming 12, and it's got a 2.5-liter V12, 237.6 horsepower, 1056.3 kilograms, and it's mid-engined. Doesn't have a whole lot of power oversteer either. Okay, but the brake balance introduces some oversteer. Something to keep in mind for next lap. Come on, try to save it there. This also starts slightly understeering on the power, which is kind of weird. There we go, around that corner that that spun me twice. And let's see what kind of finishing time we got here. 1:14.6. 1:14.629. Very close, but slightly behind the 1967 WRCC 1967. So second place temporarily. Next up though is gonna be one of the pre-race favorites after having won the first race, obviously. The Abbadelli J-884. Sent by Mr. Aaron with Pizza. Yeah, I mean, this is indeed like this is a completely different track here. And so it tests different aspects of the car than the automation test track. So we might see a different winner here. Didn't quite hit the apex there, but it's still gonna be a very fast time at 1:12.5. So that definitely sets itself apart from the previous cars, but we've only had two competitors before it so far. It is 2 seconds ahead of the previous leader though. We'll see how much that time is worth by the end of it, because this has been the undisputed leader for most of the race on automation, and then suddenly this thing came in and almost beat it. It was like 200ths of a second or so behind. So yeah. But in alphabetical order we continue. Next up is the Armor Motors Sunburst. And this thing is gonna be pretty fun to drive because it loves to drift. Hopefully I can keep it within reason though. That was way too late on the brakes there. It has a little bit of like initial understeer off throttle anyway. Again, late on the breaking point, and yeah. I want to get a clean lap of this because I think this... Where did this come last track? Like 4th or so? So this is also definitely a contender. There we go. Just about saved it there. One 113.6. I wish we could all race at the same time. Yeah, I mean, Beam multiplayer where all the cars would be ghosts would be so you can't bump into each other. That would be fun, but I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. So the Armor takes 2nd place for now. And I think it's gonna be another pretty solid performance here from the Armor. Next up is the Buckingham Express RR Sedan 57 in Chevy. And again, this is the most powerful car here. It makes 400 horsepower from its 5-liter V8, but it also weighs 1,625 kilograms. You do feel the weight of this thing much more here than you did on the automation track. Because this is more sort of quick direction changes. One 115, 116, 118.707. It's going to be last place for now, at least out of the competitors. We'll see how the rest of the cars fare. Next is the Delta Derp by MK Mailer. Yeah, seeing the ghosts while hey Autotopia. I don't think I've seen your name in the chat before. How are you doing today? But yeah, ghosts of all other cars while I'm driving, I think that would be very distracting, especially considering that we've got like 20 something cars here, or if we include the disqualified cars and my reference car. This has super sharp turning. Perhaps a bit too sharp for its own good. But the biggest downfall of this car is, of course, the transmission. One 114, 115.5. With a proper transmission, I think this could have been challenging the armor. Although that would also have meant that it would be in its power band much more often, and with how pointy the front is and how easily the rear end comes loose as a result of that, it may have needed some more tweaking on the suspension in that case. But yeah, I definitely think that the biggest downfall of that car is certainly the transmission. Next up, the F&S Rattler GTO V8 by Tez. Thank you very much for the follow, Ricky Das. Sorry, subscribe on YouTube anyway. A lot of wheel spin in this one. But only one tire fire because open diff. One 114, 115.4. 115.419. Oh, thank you for the YouTube sub, Tez, as well. Next up, we have the Falcon Warrior, which was sent by Logoris. Yeah, next time locking diff. .3 liter flat plane V8 in this one. Hey Travik, I'm doing fine, how about you? Sorry, can't talk too much while on the hot lap, but 115, 116, 117.2. I feel like there's a pretty clear gap between the performance of the cars with and without the automatic locker. Even though the automatic locker can make cars much harder to drive, with the right tune, they can be much quicker than with an open diff. Anyway, next up the HRP Aero 5.0 Club Sprint, which was one of the hardest cars to drive last time. Because it's just so unusual in a lot of ways. Like, on one hand, it's got an extremely torquey 5-liter V8 that only revs to something like 4,500 RPM or so. But on the other hand, it also only weighs 1,027 kilograms, and so the torque per kilogram is insane on this one. And even though the red line is so low, the first gear goes up to like 90 something kilometers an hour. So it has really long gears. It's also really pointy sometimes and understeery other times, so... And when you go anywhere near the throttle on corner exit, it oversteers. Okay, there I really missed the braking point. It is quick, and I still think I'm not fully doing this car justice. Yeah, it is. It has so much torque that even there in this long left-hander in third gear, it wants to step out, and I'm trying to correct it, but then I'm going offline. It can be very quick when you get it right, though. Just look at that torque out of that corner. Missed the braking point yet again. That was a good lap up until there. So if I can just repeat that and then not mess up that one braking point, I think we should be good for a finish. Oh, come on. Almost had it. That was quick through there. I know I sort of clipped the grass there a little bit, but there it wanted to spin again on braking. I corrected that, but then I was late for the turning point. So yeah, this car is much harder to drive than I'm guessing it comes across on video. That time didn't cut the grass. This particular corner, try to kind of manually ABS there rather than just applying low but persistent brake pressure. Seems to have done the trick. Firing out of that last corner and across the line in 1:13.979. That is a pretty damn quick time, and it puts it into third place for now out of the actual competitors, because this is a DQ and then this is my own car. So third place out of the competitors so far. Solid effort. I don't think I could have gotten this thing around much quicker, but I still think that there's probably more potential there. Next up, the Kumos Kestrel inline-6. So the Kumos Kestrel inline-6, this was sent in by Polly Vitico. And that inline-6 feels strong. Just a slight little drift on the way out, and a 1:13.7. So ahead of the HRP this time. That was a really nice lap from the Kumos Kestrel. Just behind the armor. Good job, thank you. Next up is the Longley Project F8 carb by forum user Wangmaster420. And again, this is the car with the 4.2 liter V16. Unfortunately, open diff though. Yeah, the open diff just can't handle all of this torque. Otherwise, you know, suspension-wise, a nice handling car. It's just that the rear, the open diff is completely overwhelmed by all that power and torque. 118.089. Ricky Das, I don't know which car is yours, but anyway. Next up is the Mayster Triumph 2.0 Autosport. And this one was sent in by NDD. Oh, the Viaggio. Also, your Discord username is Costco. Got it. Anyway, if I'm not mistaken, this did pretty well last time. It came 6th, I think. And that's despite the open diff, but this only has a box of 4, so it doesn't have like a massive engine, and it's lightweight, so it doesn't need a massive engine either. In terms of just cornering speeds and the handling balance, this is probably one of the best that I've driven. And another solid performance from the Mayster Triumph 2.0, 113.637. That's just behind the Armor Sunburst by 4 1,000ths of a second. So the Armor is still in second place for now, but really, really close from the Mayster. Almost identical in terms of the lap time. Next we have the Miranda Senator. I'm not gonna read out the full name of this thing. But anyway, this one was one of the hardest cars to drive as well, but for different reasons than the HRP. This one is not only very drifty, but also has extremely stiff suspension, so it bounces around a lot, which can lead to some unexpected behaviors. Like that, you see that? Well, there goes that attempt. Try to keep the tail end in check here. Survived that corner, but I have a feeling the last corner is gonna be very sideways, if we even make it there. Wow, FPS drops there. Okay, I have no idea what happened there. Give me a second. Let me see. I have no idea why I got like such massive FPS drops there for a second, but well, let's try again. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. Well, the FPS are still terrible. I can't play like that. Let me see what's going on here. Gonna close a few things. let's see. That's just normal BeamNG for me. Well, I'm used to it being a little bit smoother. It's better now. Closing Discord seems to have done the trick. I wonder why. Carefully balance the throttle there. And we actually get a fairly solid time at 1:15.161. It's not bad at all. But it isn't near the top either. Next is the Sanford Flintster 24. And we'll see if I can finish a lap with this thing. Spoilers, in my practice, I did finish a lap with this here on Hirachi, and I only give it a few attempts. So, yeah, we'll see. Maybe I can replicate that feat, but... Gonna short shift here, because it does have a massive amount of torque anyway. The key with this is to just not brake for very long at all, like ever, because it is nice and nimble. And the engine braking should help as well. This corner is what I'm afraid of. Okay, just manual ABSing again. .646. Oh my god, look at that. 113.633, 113.637, 113.646. 13 1,000ths of a second between these three cars. That's crazy. But the armor is still in second place for now. It is like, honestly, I don't think I could have gone much faster with this anyway, because going faster at all with this would have involved braking harder, and braking hard with this means you spin. So, next up, the Shelbie Python Talladega. Popped a healthy amount of brake pills for that lap. Yeah, I mean, you just gotta... You gotta trust that just a little bit of pumping the brakes is enough. In addition, with the engine braking from that large V6 to slow the car down. It is something you need to get used to, and something you need to keep in the back of your mind when you're driving that car, because that is different from how you would drive most cars here. But once you get it right, it can be a fairly quick car. This feels quick too. One 112. 113.906. A little bit behind the leading pack, but it is still a fairly solid effort for the Shelbie. Although I don't think it can repeat. Yeah, it definitely can't repeat its 4th place from last time. It's in 6th. It's in 6th place right now. Next up, the Tartesso Maria Race Salvage by Edsel. Very good launch from this thing. Understeer on power though. Which is something you would never expect from a mid-engined rear-wheel drive sports car. Quite a bit of understeer, unfortunately. Yeah, this isn't gonna challenge for the top spots. It is a 117.557. Pretty far behind. I'm wondering if this is even gonna score today. Next up, the Turana Levina, which I think did fairly well last time, if I remember correctly. Yeah, indeed, it came third last time. And it is another mid-engined rear-wheel drive car. So we will see the difference between it and the last car now when it comes to the handling. Much pointier. But still forgiving due to the open diff. So was this cutting? Was this cheating right there? 114.458. Nah, just a new apex. Okay. Let's leave it at that then. So again, this isn't gonna be able to repeat its third place from last time, but it is still a solid performance. Remember, we have quite a few cars in front of it that aren't actually competing, such as this thing and this thing. So yeah. Next up, the unnamed 60s sports car track prototype by Teacup, and this came awfully close to the Abbadelli last time. So this is the battle that we've all been waiting for. And this has been exceptionally close to the Abbadelli last time. Gonna short shift here because this engine has so much torque. You really gotta be very light on the throttle with this through the corners, because otherwise the tail steps out immediately. You can keep it in check like that if you're paying enough attention, but you really have to be mindful of your throttle inputs at any point. It does look good, yeah. My favorite looking is probably the armor. But I do like this one too. Okay, that was a botched start. There we go. Ah. You should drift it a lot for the show. Sorry, I was reading chat here. But yeah, I know, I knew you would say that, Aaron, because drifting is slow. And anything that slows down this car is gonna give you a better... What was that line? What am I doing? But anything that slows this car down is gonna increase your chances of winning. Jesus, I was so light on the throttle there, and it still came loose. Got through there as cleanly as I could. And that's a 110.8. Okay. Yeah. Any more questions? Next up, the Viaggio Udine Strade Corse. That little bit of oversteer actually helped it, I think. Kept it in the power band. One 114, 115.026. That's, I think, just about 10th place at the moment, I think, because we have some, you know, non-participating cars in between. So, let's see. Last but not least is the Wells Juliet. Open diff? I thought I saw the little light that indicated that it has a diff. Like the ESC light here that this has as well. Okay, so this car doesn't have good brakes. Noted, and so let's adjust accordingly. Yeah, this is gonna be a 118.522 by the Wells Juliet. And so we have our winners. First place this time goes to the unnamed 60 sports car track prototype. Second place for the Abbadelli. In third place is the Armor Motors Sunburst. Very closely followed by the Mayster Triumph, and that again is extremely closely followed by the Sanford Flintster. Then we have the Kumos Kestrel and the Shelbie Python Talladega, and my own car in between. Then we have the HRP Arrow. Then we have the Turana Levina. Then the 1967 WRC 1967, which I believe is 10th place. Then we have the Halpin Tornado, the Viaggio Udine Strade Corse, the Miranda Senator, the F&S Rattler, the Delta Derp, the Falcon Warrior, then the Tartesso Maria, the Longley Project F8, the Wells Juliet, the Buckingham Express makes up last place out of all of the competitors this time, unfortunately. All right. So, next race is going to be tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central European Standard Time, and we will have a very close final race, I think, because at the moment, because these two cars were tied for points before this race, now the unnamed 60 sports car track prototype is actually in the lead by just 1 point. So if these two cars, so if the Abbadelli wins again and this thing comes second again, just like in the first race, then these two would be tied on points, and then whoever wins the quarter mile out of these two would be the overall winner, because the quarter mile would be the tiebreaker if we have two or more cars tied for first after the final race. All right, so hope you guys enjoyed this stream, and I hope to see you guys again tomorrow on the next stream. Until then, have a good one and see you next time. Bye bye.